The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. It was a video game that came out in 2011, celebrating Zelda's 25th anniversary and gave everyone the fiery hate towards the concept of motion controls. It was not only my first Zelda game, but also the Wii's first exclusive Zelda game, and no, Link's crossbow training doesn't count, I don't care what you say! The thing is, I've never really given my own opinion about the game, so I'll be reviewing Skyward Sword as a game itself, and then talking about the HD version. So, Skyward Sword. What's the deal with it? Most of the criticism this game tends to get is that it's linear, V is annoying, bad controls, too much backtracking, 0 out of 10. Now personally, I didn't really find any of these too grating, except for the tad tones. To me, the linearity gives Skyward Sword its own charm, if that makes sense. Now yes, it would have been much better if it was much more open, but the extreme linearity of the game makes it feel as though every location in the story is its own little dungeon. They have their own problems to solve, and ways to progress through them. I don't know, I just kind of like it personally. V never really annoyed me, but that probably has to do with the fact that I was 9 when I played this game and I didn't really care. And now in the HD remake, she doesn't really appear as frequently as she did in the original game. Now I don't quite understand why the backtracking is so criticized when, for the most part, you go to new areas, to places you've already been. Whether that be the volcano summit in Elden or the sand sea in Lanero. Which is the best part of the game, fucking fight me. However, this doesn't mean that I don't have criticisms for this game. The bosses, they're so aggressively inconsistent. One minute you're fighting a fucking gold machined atrocity wielding 6 comically large swords that he can wield and slice his fucking chest open with a stab his heart. The next you're fighting an obese octopus with dreadlocks, which is a shame because Tantalus's intro is really fucking cool with the sand ship sinking and the tentacles blocking the path. Barrels rolling like it's 1981. Donkey Kong is at you. But what are these designs, my guy? Look, this one looks like a fat Celia, and this is literally a cracked rock with legs. I can make this an MS Paint in about 5 seconds. Oh, we just put that in there. Put some right in there. Can't forget the legs. There we go. Miumo's gonna be proud of this one. Many of the bosses are your extremely generic Zelda bosses where you just wait for them to show their weak point, which has a 90% probability of being an eye where you don't even know eyes could grow out of. Like, I'm not a biologist, but I don't think scorpions do or should have eyes in their claws. You hit them once, they go down, you wail on them, they get back up, rinse and repeat 3 times, bada bing, bada boom, you're done, take a heart container for a good day's work. And the worst boss of all, the boss you're introduced to early in the game, what is meant to be the sealed version of a being so powerful it could single-handedly end the world, looks like a fucking scaly black avocado with bubbles for toes. Look at this dickhead. You fight this thing 3 times and it's the most boring anticlimactic thing ever. Like, I don't care if you can fly now. I'm not fighting this thing for the 3rd time. I'm done. At least the demise fight is pretty cool, I guess. The items, I mean, some of them could have been so much more, or just kind of removed to make room for items with a better concept that would fit motion controls and enhance the experience, like the gust blower. While it's a fine enough item, it's just a fucking leaf blower. And the whip, it's not really a whip, it's kind of just a glorified rope. The lack of a boomerang is kind of weird too, especially with the motion controls. I feel like there was a huge opportunity missed for a boomerang that would have its travel effect based on how hard you throw it, what angle you threw it at, how much curve you gave it, etc. Now, what are some things that I like? The dungeons are pretty cool. While nothing will beat the dungeons in Twilight Princess, I thought the dungeons in this game range from short but okay to, oh my god, I want to marry the sand ship. Puzzles aren't too hard but still satisfying to pull off, and I like how the compass and the map are now fused into one thing. I also like how there's a healthy ratio of puzzles and action in each dungeon. No dungeon feels like a chore to go through. They're each enjoyable in their own right. Now I think it's time to actually talk about the HD remaster, which is the whole point of this video. That's what this video is titled at. This is the title of the video. I personally think that the HD remaster shouldn't even be called a remaster. And also the price is just too much. What the fuck are you? $60! Nintendo wants you to cough up 60 bones for this thing. No, bro, stop it. No, Nintendo. You used to be cool. Next thing you know, they're gonna be releasing Ocarina of Time on Switch, but it's gonna be the N64 version, and they're gonna ask for $120 and say it's the Legacy Edition. Like, no, Nintendo, stop! The remake shouldn't even be called a remake. It should be called a streamlined version. You know, now it's in 1080p. You can use a pro controller. Fee comes up a lot less. The tutorial is shorter. All those things. Now, should you buy it? I bought it personally because, again, it was my first Zelda and I never really played through it. It was pretty cool to play through it again and finish it this time. It kind of felt like I was teleported back to my own childhood. But if you already finished Skyward Sword and you didn't like it, which is a very high chance of happening, don't buy it, just emulate it. Just emulate. I mean, Nintendo are basically asking for it at this point. Who in their right mind sells Skyward Sword at 1080p for $60?